Hi.
Goodness.
I didn't get the agenda out, did I, to everybody?
Sorry.
Sorry.
You got one laying over there?
Yeah. I'll get it out afterwards. I don't have minutes, but I'll have them next time. Sign that. That's funny, I'm sorry. She hopefully will sign it by next meeting.
We approved it. Is that correct?
Yeah. Those are ones to put in the folder. Those are the corrected ones I said I did to you.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna have a short crew today. I don't know if we should dial somebody in now, or guess we don't have to dial anybody in.
No, you don't. You have a phone. It's up to you. You can.
Ron's still in Colorado.
Yeah, Ron's daughter, so on jury duty. So he's a grandpa sitter.
No. That works. The recorder is going, so.
Ready? Call the meeting to order, the Griggs County Commission at 1 p.m. April 4th, 2014. Pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't want to say amen at the end. I've said that before too, but every time.
Not too loudly though, did you?
That's what we used to do at school, right? When you stood up with the bed, you
I
always
don't remember
said,
saying, oh man.
I thought we did it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think
I don't
so.
think so.
Oh well.
You had a different teacher than I did.
Till the end, right?
Roll call. Sean Stephen,
Here.
Ron Dahl is absent, Dale Peterson,
Here.
John Wakefield is absent today as well. Troy's here.
Your Erica can, I'll let you finish first. You saying this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sat down, then I got up and signed in.
Okay.
I forgot.
Does anybody have any approvals or additions or corrections to the agenda?
Yeah, Bob handed that thing out for the sheriff, you should have it. And then the other one is just for Jamie. Those are two of the added ones. And you said if you wanted, we could call him in by phone.
Who's that?
Bob. I got it at lunchtime.
We need to approve this,
I don't know the whole story, that's why I said if you wanna call him by phone. He just handed it to me and he said, yeah, you needed to prove it, I think. I haven't had a chance to look at it, so.
I'll move to approve the agenda with the addition of the sheriff and state's attorney's items.
Thank you.
It's been moved that we approve the agenda as amended. Is there a second to the motion?
I move to second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Minutes of the March 21st meeting.
And I sent you a change
I
and
saw
that,
that.
okay, and as long as you guys are okay with it, it wasn't much, it was changing of the name and adding, steel paint or something like that.
I had one more on
Change.
page 4.
Okay.
Fourth paragraph, line 8, it says, FF&E is not in the construction budget and courtroom grant is through the building authority. Isn't that supposed to be through the county courtroom grant?
I think that's how it was said in the minutes and that's why I put it that way.
Oh, okay.
But it's up to you if you want it changed.
Well, I mean, it was awarded to the county, so
Yes, I know it was awarded to the county, but I don't even remember who said it, but that's,
I guess I don't know if that's inaccurate.
we can change it though, which, okay, I didn't find it on here, so FF&E is not a set budget? No, FF&E is not.
Construction budget and courtroom grant is through the building authority, it says, but.
Okay, we can put it through the,
That isn't true, is it?
no, it's not true.
Courtroom grant is through the county,
Yeah.
Okay, through, should we
Yes.
put Griggs County?
through Griggs
Yeah,
County.
I guess that's
Okay.
the only clarification I saw.
Good grab.
Yeah.
So other than that, I thought everything else was.
Yeah, that, on that same page, that's where the other change was, where that bill from MJ Dawson checked the roof. I didn't have, oh, his last name should be in there. I still have to put his last name in there, I have it.
Bill?
Yeah, Bill's last name, MJ Dawson, and then, no, this one's still wrong, because that Dawson's not right either, spelled D-A-L-S-I-N, Dawson. So that still needs to be changed. So I must have saved the wrong document after the change. So it should say Bill's last name in there, and it should say that there was metal paint. And it's not acrylic, but some kind of a
It was some kind of a
Synthetic.
polymer.
polymer,
Mhm.
yeah. But I'll get the change in there and mark it. And
It was on what you emailed out.
it was. It just I printed out, didn't come out right.
I got the email with your
Change.
It's a
highlighted.
metal paint sealer or polyurethane coating
There
that
we
can
go.
be
Yeah.
used.
Polyurethane,
Yeah.
not a polymer.
Yeah.
What's Bill's last name?
HUR or HRUBY.
Ruby?
Ruby.
Ruby?
H-R-U-B-Y.
Well,
B-Y? Okay. Okay.
Anything else?
I'd move to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve them with the additions so mentioned. Yep.
Been moved to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve them as amended. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll move to second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. reports are on page 6 through 32. Just for kicks and giggles, Connie, I see you have some deposits in Farmers and Merchants, and the name changed last Friday
The last part,
to
okay.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of North Dakota.
North Dakota, okay, I'll change that.
Then if you look at the total on here, it equals the same total on this page here. Okay.
On the revenue report, Connie, you know, I can see the budget and the actual year-to-date. Is there a way to, do you know how much of that is real estate taxes? I mean, not all the revenue comes from real estate taxes.
That's on that report she gives you. Oh, the total year-to-date, no.
I mean,
No,
the total year-to-date that's been received as opposed to what was billed, is that,
I don't think that's on any of the reports.
okay.
I don't think I did that one either.
I know
Except for reflected.
as of the end of February, we have 62% in. But we just got the first payment from the state of that 12% discount. You know, they were giving us 75% now and 25% in June, so that helps. I mean,
There's a
that's another-
report thing there for your Wayne, so you know what page numbers, yeah.
Do you want that on some kind of report?
It was just, I was just curious if that was something that you you must monitor it, so.
Yeah,
wide.
I check it a couple of times a year is all.
Oh,
Because I get, well, I've been there so long, I get a feel for what's still going and what's there, so,
we're about that normal.
yeah.
Some people wait until
October, I
they get
suppose.
to pay some penalty.
Yeah, there's quite a few that wait till December to pay them actually. But, and they've always done it, so they still do it.
I suppose it's approximately the same percentage every year, so many
Just
percent
about.
by
Yeah.
February 15th, and
Yeah.
so many by.
The last page
Pretty
is.
positive cash management.
I like 5% discounts myself.
You want me to just sign it?
Don't get that anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you can borrow money cheaper than 5%, so I pay the 5%. Anybody have any questions?
I guess I'd move to accept the monthly office reports.
We move to accept the monthly office reports as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll move to second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, pages 33 to 35, the bills. And I have the invoices here, if anybody wants to see something.
Like I said, since I emailed it to you last night, it has, Jim Anderson added and the Dell. The Dell is $10,788.35. And I think we
That
have,
comes out of the technology budget.
yeah, we have one more payment on that, I think. And then it's done.
That's located in the social services building, or?
And it's located in behind mine.
No?
That's in Cindy's office, or that's the server,
Yeah, the server.
the network.
It's a server and it's also Microsoft Office. We charge us an arm and leg for government for Microsoft Office.
Do you have individual licenses for each PC?
Yeah. But they charge us extra since we're government. Don't ask me why.
Supposed to get a discount.
It's ridiculous. It's like, that would be cheaper if we just went out and bought one ourselves.
Well, the Dell one's in here.
That's what I said, it's been added since
Oh.
what I emailed you last night. I'm just telling you what I added since
I
last
see.
night. for the Dell was due by the 17th, and you weren't meeting until the 17th, so.
Sure. That Ellison one, that's just for trucking, isn't it?
That is for using the Bobcat to unload the coal.
Oh, I see.
Since they can't back a semi up into the courtyard anymore. And I think that's the first time he's billed us, so I don't know how many times they've used it.
So that's for the winter total so far then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last page is welfare. Page 35 is welfare bills.
Do they use Citizen State Bank's postage meter or something?
Oh, welfare?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have an account there rather than
Get their
having
own
it here
meter.
daily and using the postage meter. They use an account and just go over and buy stamps.
Oh.
I think a couple of times a year they get money from the county to put in the account.
They used to do that up here. They used to transfer money from their fund to ours until it ran out.
Oh, okay.
Why does social services Otter Tail bills show up on both reports? It's
Was it on
listed.
both? Probably because hers wasn't paid at the same time last month. And so it comes through ours, is it showed as paid? Yeah, see, showed, it sees it was, showed as paid 3/7. And
Oh,
she's just
okay,
doing
yeah.
it for a report.
Okay, I didn't.
See, what happens is they pay most of their own bills, but some of them we pay.
Right.
And then I have to scan them and send them to them after they've been paid.
I failed to look in the right-hand column.
That's all right.
That says paid.
Because their payroll is in there too. And you also have it on,
In the total Griggs County one too,
which Griggs County?
or total payroll up here? It's included in this one too?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is. 'Cause if you look inside that
Oh, yeah, it's-
245502,
It's broke down. there,
yeah, and then you come to theirs and it should be in there, that amount. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because that's what they report to their board, and that's why they
We,
include all
we
that in there.
pre-approved these before.
Right.
I'd move to approve the April vouchers as presented.
approve the April vouchers as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll move the second.
Dale seconds the motion. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Sean?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Wayne Oyen.
He's got a few
You're the man.
I'm the man right now, you probably aren't gonna want to hear. Anyway, you probably heard that Fred Briss resigned from working for Drake County.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Just read it.
He was a very valuable resource for us, for Drake County. He worked for me for 19 years. But you can't blame him for going either, because the offer he received from Central Plains is a lot more than what I could offer. I made out a little booklet kind of for each one of you guys. I called up Nelson County and Steele County just to see what their wages were in comparison, their benefits and whatever. And I talked to Debbie up in Nelson County, and she said their starting wages were a little lower. I can't remember what she said for 6 months, and then they go to $17.63 per hour, and everyone gets the same.
Just during probationary period?
Yeah, I think that's like the 6-month probation period. That's what we have. And then they pay for both shares of retirement, just like we do. We start out with 1 day sick leave a month and 1 day vacation per month. And it builds up gradually to 2 days vacation per month. They work 5 9-hour days, so there's 45 hours, there's 5 hours overtime per week. And then if they work on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever, or later, then they get extra overtime beyond that. They get 11.5 days of holidays just like we do. Steele County, they also pay a single health. See, now I think Nelson County pays the full. If you have a family plan, they pay the family plan. If you have a single plan, they pay the single plan. Steele County, they pay for both shares of retirement also. They pay a single health insurance policy, and then they pay $200 more for a family that has a worker that has a family. And then the county gives $75 more a month to use towards whatever they would like family health coverage, vision, dental, additional life insurance, or flex plan. And Alicia said over there that starting out, they get $16.78. The new employee gets $16.78 per hour, and everyone gets the same pay. I talked to Myron, the boss over there, and he said nobody has more than 2 years experience over there, but I think there's one woman that's worked over there longer than 2 years. And they have called me prior to this time, wondering what kind of a plan we had. Do we have some type of incentive to keep people here, because they were losing employees also. Steele County was especially. You know, it says there what their vacation time is and all that stuff. And then in the back page is Griggs County's. For 2014. Craig Briss was to make $17.25 an hour. He's been there for 19 years. 18 years and 9 months at the time this was done, but his anniversary was in March. And so he had 19 years in March, making $17.25 an hour. Jake Loudon's been there for 18 years, he's making $17.15. Matt Munson, $16.55. Brian and Leroy, $15.48. And they worked for me for 2 years. So something has to be done at some point.
It looks like you're right in the market.
I am in the market for some increases, I think. They threatened to hire Jake. They told Craig that they're gonna work on Jake next. And I know a lot of people really like Jake's blading work, the work that he does. Well, same with all these guys as far as that goes. But Gary Barberg's in 1899, he's been here for 28 years. Well, that'll be 29 years in the 18th of April. Jim Anderson's been here for 32 years now in March. In 1957, and I've been here for 36 years, 37 years now. For 23, 29. In the bottom left-hand corner, one of the salary negotiations with the commissioners years ago, I came up with that incentive plan to kind of try to gradual increases after so many years of service. Only thing is, I should have started early retirement after 5 years, 10 years, or whatever. Because when you train somebody up and they work here for 19 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever, 5 years, as far as that goes, they're really a valuable commodity because you don't have to start out with somebody new. And it usually takes 2 to 3 years before somebody really gets accustomed to all the things that are going on in the county, where things are, what the process is. I haven't had any applications yet. The ad's been out. This will be the second week today now in the paper. And they haven't even asked to find out what the salary is or anything, you know. But that's a big competition over there at Hanford.
So is he classified just as an equipment operator then? Or
He had a CDL. I'm
what's with
requesting
CDL?
somebody with a CDL license, Class A CDL license.
Yeah.
And then, well, he drove the snow plow, the gravel truck, the payloader, the backhoe, the tar can, the whatever you asked him to do, put in culverts. Or a lot of times on weekends, people would call him instead of calling me. And, he would go out or get somebody together. He'd call me, but anyway, he's gone. Now, today's the last day. I think the last time that I hired, like Leroy and Brian, I paid $14.50 an hour, which wasn't much, but now they've gotten up to there, and that's just with the regular increases that the commissioners give each year, as you know, their salary negotiations or our budgets. I haven't settled on a starting salary. I can't really pay them as much as I'm paying somebody that's worked for me for 2 years. If they can go drive a tractor for a farmer for a lot more, yes, but it's, you know, and some farmers now are offering benefits also. So what do you think? $5 an hour for raise for everybody?
I don't know.
I don't.
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, I'd like to see $2 an hour for everybody. Increase in that.
Well, we're not out of the, we're paid almost the same as the surrounding counties.
Yeah, after you've been here for 20 years.
So,
If you went up and started at Nelson County, you'd be getting $17.63 tomorrow. If you start in Griggs County, you're getting $15 probably. If you've been here for 2 years, you're getting only $15.48. Now that's not the same. And they all have pretty much the same benefits. You know, yeah, Nelson County is just $1 and some more per hour. $16.78. That's equal to a 5-year worker. Matt Munson's getting $16.55. Maybe
Right.
something can't be done now, I don't know.
well, all I'm saying is Craig didn't leave, Craig's in the 17.25 range.
Right.
He didn't leave because.
No, because now he
pays
can make this about
40 cents more.
$60,000 a year.
Well, that was my,
Yeah.
I need more information. What's the competition
Central Plains,
and what do they pay?
well, it's just about $60,000 a year that he'd be getting. I know if you're gonna start working without benefits, it's $22 an hour. That's what Neil Johnson told me.
What's that?
Neil Johnson said if he went there to work for no benefits at all, he would be getting $22 an hour. But that's no benefits, and I don't know what Craig got. They really wanted Craig real bad, and so he was friends with that Tim Horning and Jacobson, so I don't know exactly per hour what he got, but he said it was close to 60,000. Plus he gets cost sharing, profit sharing, a retirement, health, you get a single policy health insurance. It's just something I wanted you guys to be aware of what's happening. We can't afford to lose any more people because there's not a bunch of people waiting on the street corner like we used to say 20 years ago. There's somebody always waiting for a job. You gotta be, in order to drive a truck, you gotta have a CDL license. You know, a Tandem, you can get by with a Class B with air brakes rider, but otherwise you have to have a Class A license.
With new equipment and stuff, you got that stuff. Take some intelligence to take care of that too. And still. Some,
So do you have an amount you're thinking of if somebody applies, or, I mean, obviously you can't start them higher
I
than,
don't suppose I can start a fire at 1548, but
right?
Yeah, you can.
well, it depends upon the
Lose your
skill.
other
But
employees too.
Well, I mean,
if they're brand new, yeah, it depends upon their experience. But you're not gonna get somebody with a whole bunch of experience, but I did have somebody come right before I came here, that's why I'm a little late, but he is getting about the same as what I'm gonna be able to offer him, but he relies on a lot of overtime. That's how he can survive, is because he works a lot of extra hours.
well, I think, you know, in light of the fact that we're kinda got a short crew today, I think you should come to us with a proposal, Wayne. I mean, I don't think we can make a decision if we don't have anything to consider.
$2 an hour increase in everyone's
Whatever you think is gonna work.
rate.
No, I don't think we're gonna make a decision today, I think you.
No.
What's this donating sick leave?
Donating sick leave.
It's in our policy.
Put that on the next agenda, please.
The donating
Chris has
Um,
a bunch of sick leave left over beyond what he could sell.
you want the salaries or the sick leave thing on
The
this?
sick leave policy. I've never seen any place in my entire life that can donate sick leave to somebody else.
I've seen it, but somebody's got to be a deficit of their own. The state does it, I know.
Which is probably why the county does it, but,
But you have to have it, say you were sick, you used all your sick leave up, you can donate.
somebody else can
Right,
donate.
but if somebody's, I mean, she must have sick leave the way
Well, I
it looks.
mean,
She's
if
got
you
about,
accumulate sick leave at an employer and you choose to terminate that employment, the sick leave belongs to the employer,
Correct.
not to the employee.
Right.
I left 2,000 hours of sick leave on the table at Noack Electric when I quit. It's not mine to give to somebody else. It's use it or lose it.
right, but they allowed it here, and then it's your guys' choice.
That's why I asked you to put it on the next meeting with the judge. I mean, this is water under the bridge. I get that.
And this is, you know, beyond probably what we've done in the past. Because she hasn't used her vacation time or sick leave up yet.
She's
But
got,
she's
she's
pregnant,
under
she's-
50 hours, and yeah, she's pregnant.
She has a pregnancy, she's gonna have a baby and she's gonna be gone. So he said, just out of the goodness out of his heart, he said, if I can give this to somebody, I would give it to Chris.
But in reality, when you terminate your employment, it's
I know.
9 years to get it. That's my point.
Yeah.
I know. So,
But if that's the way the policy reads, that's the way it is. I mean, I get it.
Well, he's not done yet, though, too. That's why he's donating it now. He won't be done till April.
Today.
Oh, today's his last day.
today's last.
But that should be done on a case-by-case basis.
That's what they're doing right now, is to do it to give to Christie because she is pregnant. She doesn't have enough time to be able to take time off.
It's not his to give.
Okay,
But I could give it if I wish when time comes.
okay.
But I mean,
All right, but I mean, there was just, he wanted to see if it was possible. If not, he understands that.
well, if
Yeah.
it's a county policy, I'm not the king either, you gotta understand.
Well, you're kind of the king. Under the king's hat right now. All right.
He still is employed at this time, right?
Right, that's why he's doing it. He's still.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. I mean,
What else do
I
we
don't know what
have?
the policy says,
I think, the last page in your Commissioner's proceedings, I believe. Letter from the DOT. What it is a copy of a letter that was sent to Morris Seal Coat and Trucking Incorporated. They just sent a copy to the county and to the district DOT office, saying that the Morris Seal Coat has been awarded the project, and they enclosed the contract and contract bond forms which they sent to Morris Seal Coat. And Morris Seal Coat has to have them filled out, put in their insurance company and whatever, and then mail it back to the state. So there isn't anything that we have to do, it's just a letter that informs us that they had awarded the project to Morris Seal Coat because we signed that, Troy signed that resolution the last meeting we were at. That they voted, you guys voted on to give the seal coat to Morris Seal Coat. So that was that. I have a copy of this is the plans for the Sutton project. Anybody wants to look at them?
This letter's already been sent.
Huh?
This one, I signed this.
Page 45
Page 40.
or page 40?
Am I behind you guys?
That's a different. that the engineering or?
This is page 40, it's.
Brian Fuchs letter
Brian Fuchs, Smith, for Department of Transportation.
for funding.
No, you have it, this one has to be signed, that's why it's been brought up, isn't it? This is one that Jesse, you should have, it's this one here.
It's for
Oh,
engineering.
this is the engineering. Yes,
Engineering
signed right
costs.
there, yep.
That one needs to get here. It should be over here. No, that's good. Thought I printed it out again, but maybe I forgot that one. I don't remember that one anymore. Isn't that the one that Jenny sent?
This one?
Yes. No, you can't sign that one, sounds wrong.
This one isn't wrong.
It's got Barb Anderson's name on it, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, and that's why
Okay,
I had
you redid it?
reprinted it and, well, I can come out of this one here. Okay, the first one, and I can re-put it in again.
it's not in color. Or is it? Okay. Yeah, the form that Jenny sent was, still had Barb on there as the tax director, so Cindy was gonna change that.
Maybe I don't have it in color.
Still take it.
Now, is this request?
Yeah, just go ahead and take that one. Because this one is not right. It's got a page number. So if you want to give him that one.
Request for reimbursement
No, that's your other one.
of engineering fund from DOT on the House Bill 1358.
We don't need, do we need to approve that?
Yes, you have to sign it.
Oh, we already
We can
did.
get-
Yeah, because it includes all the
We're
rest of
gonna
it.
send that in and get 90% of the money back, so we gotta have
Right.
your signature.
I'll go reprint it when they take it away, if they approve it.
Okay.
Okay. What goes with it is page 40, page 41, page 42, page 43, page 44. All of that goes with that letter.
Oh, the KLJ.
Yeah, they did this up, she emailed it to me. And so that all goes together and we send it to Brian Fuchs, the North Dakota Department of Transportation, if you okay it.
Well, we've already paid 6209.
Yeah, we just paid the 57 today,
Yeah, you okay with 57.
Okay.
or not 57, 53.
Is it?
Yeah, it was.
What is 57?
Too far. There it is. 57. 57,765, so it's more than what's on this thing.
Well, the total
So there's
cost
two
was
other ones there.
6395, 975.
Yeah.
That's all these invoices added up. Well, we've already paid something before.
Right, you paid the 5,000 and paid the 391.
Well, on that last invoice, it says we paid 6209.55 previously.
Correct.
I guess I'd entertain a motion that we submit our request for reimbursement on this project.
I move we submit our request to North Dakota DOT for reimbursement for engineering costs.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll move the second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Sean?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. We should go back to this sick leave thing one time, just so I get my hands straight. Do you have the policy?
That's the state's manual.
You should have this policy in your drawer.
I think I took it.
I think I have mine.
Can you show it to me?
Should be, it should say supervision, should go right there. It does state case by case, so. Keep going. No, one more page. Need to Good too.
17 and 14.
Do you remember what that's under? When they can donate it? I know it's in there. What?
Isn't it under sick leave?
No, I don't see it. Maybe it's further down.
You've always done it, I know.
Yeah, it probably includes both vacation and sick leave, so it's probably at the end of both of them.
Oh, true. Oh.
It only discusses payment of unused sick leave.
I don't see it. I thought it was in there.
Well,
Oh, this is an old one, 2008. What's your Stan? Is it 2008 or 2011?
I have the state one, I don't have my
Okay.
county one with me.
what's yours say? 2011.
Mine was 11, was revised last.
When's yours?
2011 revision.
Find anything in there?
Just, the only thing is that upon termination of employment or retirement, vested employee is entitled to payment of unused sick leave at the rate of 10 days of sick leave to 1 day of compensation.
Right.
Well,
That's
that's
just
you have to
That's
be,
just an
whatchamacallit.
incentive for people not to
But,
use
I
their
mean,
sick
there's no mention of,
Well,
I would find it odd that if,
with that said, I think we should put it off a meeting.
Could you make a motion that it's been offered and you research it and bring it up later?
There's no motion.
Huh?
There's no motion.
No, I said, couldn't you do that? And then,
Go ahead. Yeah, we can, but I don't know, I see a purpose in it. Go ahead.
As a former department head, as a former employee, and probably one that donated more sick leave or annual leave to others than most, the person in need and receipt had to have an illness naturally, and had to be totally out of any other leave, such as annual leave and so forth, before the donation could occur.
We done that years back.
But that's,
I understand that, but I don't know if it's a good use of it when somebody is walking out the door to give all their benefits to somebody else that they've accrued.
that's not how it was ever done. The person was an ongoing employee, and
Right.
the person gave up their sick leave. to
If
help
Connie was
another.
doing this, I'd look at it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, we had it happen in my previous workplace as well. A lady, I can't remember if she was, I think she had,
And it had to
she
be
had
a
bunion
service
removed or
illness.
something, and she was out of, she used her sick leave. Then she got pregnant and she was gonna be gone, and some people donated some of their sick leave, but that's a little different situation than what we're looking at here.
I agree with him. I left about 8, 9 months of sick leave when I walked out the door.
Right.
It was always an insurance that I looked at it.
You know, and as time goes on and these issues arise, it strengthens my belief that PTO is a more fair way to give people time off for vacation or for sick.
Pros and cons, yeah.
It levels the playing field though. I mean, it does adversely affect some people like any change does, but I think overall, it's a positive thing. But again, not being the king, I can't make that decision.
So you're tabling it, or what are you gonna do?
Yes, I want Wayne to, I would like a supporting policy or something, or precedence, or if I have to make the decision today, I would say I'm not for this decision. Somebody will need to provide me more information. Okay,
Okay, moving on, let's see, what else did we have? I said we had plans here, the Sutton project.
I think I cut you off. Are you back on the seal coat thing now?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, this is the overlay, actually, this one. We already did the seal coat, I think.
Yeah, you're done.
Didn't we?
Yeah, the letter that goes in, you had a roll call vote.
Yeah, that was the letter about from the state, that was the seal coat one.
Yeah,
Right.
so you're done with everything that.
The seal coat's done.
Enough for you.
I talked to Jenny about the Sutton project, and we had talked about who's gonna put the detours up and who's gonna do this and do that. And I just decided we would do the detours because it's cheaper if we do put the detours up. She asked about white lines. It wasn't included in the plans, and I said, well, I know there were some old people over there that's something that's requested white lines
On the edges.
along the edges, and I know we've all said they're pretty valuable when it's a storm or something. And especially with the black top is gonna be black for a few years, and if you got a white line, it's a lot easier to see at night when you're driving.
They don't chip seal it.
So then it, pardon?
They chip seal it, don't they?
Yeah, they don't chip seal it, for like 3 years or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
that. So that she updated the cost because of the cost of the painting of the white lines on. So there's a different cost on here than what's in the sheet inside here.
I think she'd mentioned that when she was here the last time anyway, so
What is the differential?
it wasn't that terribly much.
Why do you pick white ones instead of yellow ones?
Well, the yellow lines go down the middle, you know, but on the edge lines it's better. In this sample here, it's 1,593,667, and here it's 603, 069, 603.
About 10,000 difference.
And I think rumble strips at the intersection, that's the only rumble strips. We didn't want that, and then it's gonna be painted across there too, I think, stop it, whatever. And she's got in here the drawings of the culvert, box culvert and stuff. And if anybody wants to just take a glance at it or not, maybe you don't have time.
I have a question.
Yes.
Like when you do the rumble things at the stop signs, what's the line of thought? Used to be they were just the tire tracks. So So if you were awake, you
Yeah,
could
I'd
drive
have-
around them.
Yeah.
Now they're all the way across the lane, so you'd have to go on the other side of the road.
I don't know why they do that.
Is there a reason that they do it like they do it instead of like
I
how
know
they used to do
on
it?
Highway 15 or whatever it is up there in 32, they just got, so you can just jog over a little bit and miss them.
But the one 7 miles north of town, you can't get around that one.
I wonder if the last one maybe doesn't have solid all the way across, does it? The one right by the stop sign maybe has?
Oh, I don't know.
I think farther back, I think the warning ones were offset or something, but
I thought that maybe there was a reason. I figured it,
Make
you know,
sure
if you
you
were
wake
awake,
up
if you
to the
were awake
intersection.
enough to drive around them, you probably didn't need them.
let's see, yeah, I don't
They
know.
just wanted to make sure you were awake, right? So you hit it whether you wanted to or not.
Well, now you can't avoid them.
Jenny sent an email to Cindy and me about the bids for the Sutton Road project. She's got the bids written up, advertisement for bids, and then she wants it put in the paper 3 times,
Okay.
I think, 3 consecutive. For some reason, when I printed it out, it didn't print out that line, but it's not easy.
Why?
So you're sending it in and I'm sending it in.
You are.
18 by 5.
Does it matter when I send it in?
That baby's gonna move water.
Well, it said on there, published the 11th, 18th, and 25th of April.
What's under this road now? 3 36-inch culverts?
236 and a 48.
You're gonna put a 18 by 5 foot hole in there? You're gonna wash people down the creek, or?
I think they're working on
Kinda
it,
got,
aren't they?
we kinda got a solution, I think,
Okay.
for some downstream crossings.
Why, you gonna move over there and then wash it down the river, or?
Well, I just was worried about the poor guy that was across the road from there.
I think they're gonna put 2 60-inch culverts, I think, in each.
You guys
Crossing
are worried
the
about
next
them
two
too when they
miles.
show up in here one day.
Where?
In our office, in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could happen.
But the water board and Renaissance Engineering worked on that, and I think we come up with the culverts that they have in the road at this time, the townships downstream, and then with the addition of these extra culverts in there, should handle it. The thing about putting this culvert in, it's gonna control the water somewhat. Where before, when the water ran over the top of the road,
Well,
it
you
was
lose
uncontrolled.
control when it goes over the road. I
Plus, all 3 culverts are running full and then it's running over the top. See.
You really don't increase the flow because what comes down just goes over the top and keeps running anyhow.
if it goes over the top.
But it has gone over the top.
This year, I think.
Not very often, now you're gonna provide a lot bigger hole more often, that's all I'm saying.
See. But you guys approved it. So.
I agree, I understand.
No.
It just,
I'm just a road supervisor.
You get rid of your liability, the county liability if anything would happen.
Yeah, 'cause that one year when the water was running over the
Well, we
middle
buy
of the
insurance
night for 300 yards, you know, that was hazardous, but it won't happen again, I don't think. I'll just say I don't think, because you never.
Mhm.
Well, you follow the design standard,
Yeah,
which relieves you.
that's the thing about this is, yeah, because that's what the hydraulic study said, so then that's what we're going about it.
well, and our roads really aren't supposed to be
Dams.
dams, so
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's a pretty big alteration in the present flow picture. So
It is.
people will be affected.
You think that's it? Do I have anything else, Cindy?
I don't think so, if you covered all the pages I put in. I didn't do that last one on Jenny, I probably should have asked you about that one. That's publishing in the paper.
Well, the 11th, that's next week, right?
Week from today.
Yeah, we won't get it in. Yeah, we
Yeah,
will.
you put it in Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll go out.
Because then bid opening she has scheduled for May 2nd. Well, you guys will be opening the bids on May 2nd.
Which project is this one?
This is the Sutton project.
I thought you were done with this one.
Bituminous overlay. This is the bituminous overlay. The other one was a seal coat.
No, okay.
The seal coat was done through the state highway because that's federal funds. This is state funds, so that's why we're doing it through the local. She said it would go out to other, there's websites, Quest, I think one of them is called, that a lot of contractors check in on for work. And then known contractors that do this type of work, they'll automatically get a bid sheet like this sent out to them so that they'll be aware that this project is coming up in bid coming, so I think everything is.
We're gonna open the bids on that on May 2nd.
Yep.
Those sheets must already be out in the world, aren't they?
Well, he told
Probably
me
are,
that,
as soon as this thing was prepared, I'm sure.
I would
But we
think.
just
Sent
got it too. When did you get the email? Wasn't it just,
Today,
yeah.
That's all the time they give those guys to bid?
Yeah, May 2nd.
yeah,
that's
3 weeks or
3
whatever.
weeks.
May 2nd is what?
It's almost a month, I guess. It's
Yeah.
only the 4th today.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them want to get their work all lined up for all summer. And then there is a, supposed to be done by September 9th, I think it says. September 5th. We have to close the road for approximately 10 days of that thing. Detour, I got the detour figured out, so. I think that's it. But I guess I can kind of set, when I hire somebody now, I can set it at whatever I dare. I don't want to get over anybody's wages, but I can go up to, or near to
I'm done.
the, I know, you're not here.
I'm not here.
But $15 an hour, I certainly can offer. I don't want to offer them $15.48 because that's what those two guys who have been here 2 years are getting. Tough position.
Cindy, you had your hand up?
No, I just wondering if he was done, because then I can cover just a couple
I'm
things.
done.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
On pages 52 through 58, if you want to vote on who our rep is for NDIRF, it's up to you.
Explain.
Well, every year we get this, and then you guys just say vote for whoever, because usually it's just one person on there. And you guys can attend the meeting if you want to. That's why we give you all this information. You have it in your packet here too. But it tells you, you can attend the meeting.
I talked to those good people this morning.
Yes, they are.
Huh?
They are good people. I tried to call them.
They didn't help me.
Sorry to hear that. But here's their categories for, they have other candidate schools category and counties. Return no later than May 12th. Should say who we have on our ballot here. I guess it doesn't. Usually they have a name.
We appoint
But-
somebody to represent the county.
Well, they usually give, yeah, there's names here. There's Bill, Rod, and then for Con, the behalf of the board. And they're just saying that if you would just say whoever they want on here, that's the way it looks. Because they have schools and others, and I'm wondering if we aren't others. This Mr. Landblue.
Anyway,
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Or you don't even have to send it in. And then they just vote for you. Is the way it usually is. I haven't read all the way through this, but that's usually the way they handle it. Then the last page on your report is telling you that we're getting money back. Last year, I think we got 5,000.
I got that letter at home.
Okay, so you know. I have attended this meeting. It's short, half a day.
So previously, were you our representative?
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't know if you were asking for a board member.
Well, no, I always bring it to the board on who to vote for. If to vote for whoever, they just list. And then if you go with that, that's what we'll do. You just make a motion that you vote for Rod is who I'm thinking is, because there's schools and others, and I think we're under others. It lists county on the yellow page, so. And this one could have waited, or you can put it on hold and we can do it next month. But then if you want to go to the meeting, they have a sheet, you need to get it in. I'm pretty sure it's the others. It's the only two on there, so it's gotta be others. If you sign the yellow sheet, then you're doing the proxy and letting them pick. It's yellow.
Right, and I think you can sign it.
Yeah, I can sign it. Usually I get you guys' permission though, but it's up to you, doesn't matter. If you just wanna make a motion to let me decide what to do with it, that's fine. I'll read through it and get it done.
Okay.
Dennis is over here.
Oh, yeah, it's here.
Yeah, he just came.
Okay. Well, let's whip through this baby,
Yeah, he's at 2:30, so if you wanna,
oh,
I figured we'd get a few things done real fast.
yep. You guys just wanna let the city take care of this?
Okay,
Do we need a motion or not? We don't need a motion. I don't need a motion.
just say you, just let me take care of it for now,
All right, man.
okay? Then the next thing is that,
Well, as long as Dennis is here, should we just do it?
this won't take very long either.
Huh?
To do this, couple of things won't take that long either. Information on custodial salaries, page 51, it's just to let you know.
What happened here?
Someone just didn't get paid what they were supposed to get paid. And the amounts are listed on there,
For 3 years?
yes. They probably could have gone back further, but they didn't.
So paid the wrong hourly wage or what?
Yes, they got paid the wrong hourly wage.
Well, how come some months were right, some were,
Come somewhere.
some were over, some were under? I don't get it. So they're using 3 different
Mm.
hourly rates?
No, it's just two.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes, Debbie would do work for Brian and they were using a different rate, which they should have used a different rate, but not the one they were using. Usually when there was no overage, then they got the right payment each month.
We had to go back and look what they got paid for. So if Brian was doing just regular work, we had to make sure, and then he wasn't getting paid the right hourly amount. Don't ask me why. I
So we
couldn't
have
answer that
different
question.
hourly rates for different jobs?
No, he has one hourly rate, but it wasn't figured right.
Sometimes it was too much and sometimes it wasn't enough.
And
Right.
sometimes it was right on.
Well, no, okay.
Well,
I'm trying. Let me explain it.
Like where it's 0, it must have been right on. Where it's
Yeah.
over, it was too much. Where it's under, it was too little.
Right. So, because what happened is, when Brian came in to fill for Debbie when he was sick, he should have gotten Debbie's wages. He didn't. So he got paid too much.
Okay.
Okay. So then, when Debbie worked for Brian, it went the same way.
She got overpaid.
She got underpaid.
Underpaid.
Big time. Okay. Then, like I said, their wages were not figured right to begin with, so they got to make that up too. So it was a whole bunch of things. And they were willing just to go back the 3 years, which is good because to pull any further back than that, we would have to go in the basement to pull records. Now I'm scanning stuff so that it's always there.
You don't have payroll software?
We have payroll software, but it doesn't keep. Once your year's done, you lose that yearly amount. It changes. But you can go back into the inquiry part, and it may state the hours, but it doesn't list what the wages were. I mean, the hourly wage. Okay, say if you got paid $15 an hour, it doesn't list that you got paid $15 an hour. It puts the amount in there. And that's just the way you look it up as. So you have to go back and pull. We had to go back and pull 3 years of
Doesn't
vouchers.
say how many hours they worked.
I don't remember.
I
I
really
have
don't
to look. I don't think it does. I think it just lists
I mean,
the
if it
amount.
did, then you just divide it into
Right.
the total pay and you know what the hourly rate was.
Right.
Anyway,
But like the sheriffs, when I go and pay them, they sometimes have 5 different wages, so some of them are in the same column. So if you go in there, you know what I mean? No, you don't. So okay, say if Bob hands in a card for one person, he's got 3 of them at $26 because it's time and a half or double time, and one at the regular time because he was paid double time for working a holiday, but he worked that day so he got his regular pay. Okay? There's a bunch of breakdowns on some of that stuff. And the way we keep track of it is it got stapled to a voucher, and the vouchers got put in and they get put away. So now we scan them every month, so if anybody has to pull them again, it'll be a lot easier than what we went through.
okay. Anyway, it's fixed.
It's fixed. Okay, then the only other thing I have is vacation sick leave on page 59. If there's any questions, I went through and I hope I didn't screw up because I put in their hourly wage, and like for some of them, like Wayne's will be different because he works also as the 911, so his hourly rate includes that. Okay, those that have some extra jobs, they're. But I also included the comp hours, so because you were going to keep track of that, so by the end of whatever that time was, and I suppose I should look up the date and put it on here. When that year is up, that better be gone. Unless you have some questions, you got to remember this is at the end of March, so you have to look at their date of employment and make sure that they're within their vacation hours. Sick leave is not. There's nothing with sick leave.
Would you give us this quarterly? Is that what you've been doing?
We did the motion to do it quarterly instead of monthly.
That's why I said-
It was monthly, and it shouldn't actually say quarterly on it, just should say end of quarter.
Right. This is for the first quarter.
This is for the end of the first quarter. I almost forgot to do it and had to rush to get it done.
Okay.
Because I didn't have anything with the new hourly wages on it.
Craig had 13, he had 1,400 hours of sick leave accrued.
He had 1,400 accrued, yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah, at one time that they limited it to 800 and then they just made it unlimited, but you can only collect, the most you can collect for sick leave is 10 days, but you'd have to work your 10 years first.
I see. Okay, anybody have any questions on that? Dale's calculating.
I'm fine.
Okay. That's all I have, I think, except for the only other thing, like I said, is Jamie had the combining of the offices, or I did on 49. I contacted the Secretary of State, the language in the ballot is on there. And then the email, I'm gonna put both of them together, and then the email from Jamie stating how the ballot is supposed to be. He stated in this added stuff that it has to be separate offices, the treasurer and the auditor, not a combined office that you're voting on.
What now?
On this email that Jamie gave you. If you're voting on a separate office, treasurer's a separate office, auditor's a separate office, not the combined office.
On the ballot.
On the ballot. And then the rest of it will be answered after the election on how either it's answered yes or no on combining the offices. And then I gave you the wording of what's going to be on the ballot.
This one.
Yes.
Right.
Because I didn't know if you guys had to okay it, but since the petition okayed it is what it was. So, and the Secretary of State told me that. So, unless there's any other
Plus,
questions.
The only other question I have. Okay, so this passes in June,
Can't ask me on that one.
huh?
Because that's what he says is left up in the air. But go ahead.
So then, I go to vote in November, treasurer, Connie, auditor. I vote for Connie again.
You can do that. Get your write-in. If there isn't two people on the ballot. You don't always get that option of a write-in.
You can write in if there's two.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, you can.
What are you talking about, Willis? Because, in my way of thinking, if this passes, and now we have two offices on the ballot.
That's what the
If-
AG has to
if-
answer.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
Then Cindy doesn't run again, and nobody runs for that office.
Then you go back to the next closest one.
No, you'll have a write-in.
Well, I know, but if it's a.
But if the write-in is somebody other than Connie, then we're gonna end up waiting 4
officers
years.
till the next election.
Whereas if we write in Connie, boom, we're done.
Mhm.
No. It's not that simple. Well, if the thing passes, then it does. If it doesn't pass, then
If she's got a write-in, she doesn't have to accept a write-in.
right. She can
She
turn
has
that
the option of
write-in down.
accepting a write-in or not.
She'll.
You're running for treasurer, right? There you go.
Mr. Kabishta, how are you today?
Okay.
Good. Dennis called me the other day. Oh, you what?
One more thing.
Oh, okay.
Page 47, 48. I just need you to okay that.
47.
Yeah.
I thought we decided we hadn't done that one.
You're nullifying them because right now, the way the minutes read, do not follow everything that was done. So if you nullify your other motions and make this your motion for the whole budget. Because you had two different motions. The last one was okay, but you have, if somebody goes back and look, they won't know what happened. This way you're nullifying the the other three motions that were made and just saying you're cutting that budget 18,000. And that's what you did.
Okay.
And it makes it clean.
In that case, I'd move to nullify the previous motions made on the 2014 county extension budget and to decrease the secretariat salary line item in that budget by $18,000.
There's a second.
I'll move to second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. Ron,
Aye.
Dale,
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Now can I welcome Dennis? Yeah. Okay. Hi Dennis. Dennis called me the other day, and what's going on in the Veteran Affairs world is there are some electronic forms of communication and reimbursement, right, that are going to be implemented, and the new courthouse obviously will have the capability to support that type of activity, but the Steele County Courthouse doesn't necessarily have a designated spot for Dennis and or a place for networked equipment to reside. So
That's pretty much about it. It's kind of the way we've always done it, especially in these small towns. You know, there's paper forms you fill out, okay? And then you send them to the VA. That's been fine forever. But they're going to a paperless VA. That's going to be all that's to it. It's not coming in a month or two or three. Probably not within a year, but within a year you probably should be there, you know. But that doesn't mean a year from now they still won't accept the paper form, but 2 years from now they might not.
right.
Okay, so I talked to Troy, I said, it's time to start thinking about that. I did call one commissioner in Steele County, Commissioner Lindstrom, so that's the only one I spoke with, okay? So if there's, just say at the end of this discussion, you guys think, oh, perhaps we should talk to Steele County about this. That is the commissioner.
You talked to Dennis?
Dennis Lindstrom. He's a veteran himself, so that him and I kind of handle veteran things is not a proper way of putting it, but he's kind of like my go-to commissioner. Kind of like if you had a road commissioner, you know, you'd go to him, you know, somebody who got that portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay, Steele County, I'll just show you guys this. I didn't come here to give you this, but you know what? I'm here, so what the hell. Someday I was gonna come and give you guys an update. We'll get two things done at once, okay? Here's Griggs County and here's Steele County. Griggs County has 215 veterans. Steele County has 216.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't find two more counties that are almost identical, you
And they
know?
got a good VSO, they're all
Well,
out there.
thank you for saying that.
They're all out there getting help.
And I'm very well received by the veterans in Griggs County. It's just like being at home. I go to the American Legion meetings. I know the guys. And,
Do I get one of those?
oh yeah, you can have one too. Sure. I had to actually had to get them back to me. It was. Okay, but anyway, you look at, and some of the things here, I kind of put a yellow line across. Okay, look how many vets we got. The VA knows how many vets are out here, believe me. You know, you get asked how do they know if somebody moved. Yeah, somebody might have moved in, but as soon as they moved in, their address has changed somewhere. And the IRS computers talk to the Social Security computers within a year or two. They know where somebody's at. That's you're totally homeless. Okay? You look at how the counties are matched, like Griggs County, the total amount of that VA in Fargo says comes into here is $1.3 million for the vets here. Okay?
Oh, wow.
Okay, Steele County is 1.1 million. When I got the job, Griggs County was behind. They were probably 75%, but now they've surpassed Steele County's expenditures coming in. Now that's a lot of that is compensation. Some is the healthcare system. Okay, but anyway, and if you want to look at how is Steele County doing compared to like Adams County, 210 vets right at the top. Their total expenditures were $1 million, so about the same, or Griggs County, Steele County. You look at another one, Kidder County has 209 vets, almost identical. There's 949,000 coming to that county. Well, just because the money's coming in, that's not what I do. Just try to get more and more money to come in. But if you're going to pick some sort of barometer of how the hell the guy's doing, you know, you got to have something to look at. It'd be, you compare to what I do just by numbers at other counties. You know, Emmons County, 327 vets, they bring in 1.3 million. Griggs County's 1.3. I think I've been doing my job. Been doing it for 18 years. I got a pretty good handle on what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, but anyway, I'm not a county commissioner. I don't live in Griggs County even. I can't tell you what to do with the guys in Steele County. I ain't gonna do that. Whatever you tell me to do, I'll do. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, if we just left things the way they are, I would do this for a long time. Just fill out my forms and turn them in. You know? If somebody would say, Dennis, how long can you do that before the VA won't allow it? And they'd say, secretly, it's forever. I'd say, well, maybe we could do that. But really, things aren't that way anymore. Okay? It's going to require a modern office. You're going to need a modern office. From the Commissioner of Veterans Affairs, he'd help. But this is what he looks for in a modern office. He's been to every office in North Dakota except Steele and Griggs County. That's the only two he hasn't been to. I always kept telling him, hey, just wait, you know, we're gonna get this new courthouse now, so why the hell did you just wait? Because if you come, you just see the other one. Okay? So he said, okay, that's fine. Okay, Steele County, when Linda was commissioner, okay, Linda ain't there anymore. The auditor. And they got their whole set of issues over there now, believe me. But anyway, Linda ain't there. But this is what Linda told me. This was starting to come 4 or 5 years ago. They say someday we're going to have this. So I asked her. She said there is no spot in the courthouse for a separate office. So I just left it at that, and I thought, well, what the heck, you know, I like it the way it is anyway, so what difference does it make to me? Okay? But anyway, those days are going to be over. Now, I'm not the Steele County Commissioners, maybe they'll say, we want, even if we go on to 200 vets, we want a total separate, our own veteran service office. I don't know, maybe they'll say that, you would think, no, you know, but I don't know, they might, you know. But in a way, it doesn't make. Here's this. I'll leave this with you. I think they're going to expect in a modern office. And one thing about the VA, their other systems, they have secure computers. Those are the only computers that they'll talk to. You know, so like if you have, there might be a computer downstairs in the auditor's office. If that's not the secure code, kind of like with the right encrypted technology on it, that ain't going to recognize it. It's going to take a separate set of things. Okay, the law is every county has to have, it's in the Century Code, you have to have a Veterans Service Office or access to one. So I mean, there are some that are combined. Steele and Griggs County are not combined. We have two separate offices. It just happen to have the same guy is all it is, you know. And it works fine that way. I'd continue that way forever if you'd let me, you know. Well, not forever, but you know. I'm 60 years old. I keep this job many more years, I'd be happy as heck. So I have no plans of quitting. I'm going to have to update my electronic skills. That won't be a problem. The commissioner has a training person. There's an office set up here in Steele County. They can't be at home anymore. And I've been using my computers at home. But it quickly come to the point where it ain't that way. Now today I have a hard time printing that out. I couldn't really do it. I had to get my wife involved. I got Apple computers at home. She had to copy and paste it to another account and then print it off of that. But you know, you can't talk to another computer like that either, you know. But it's going to take a real modern office. As far as I know, this one here would be totally capable of meeting needs of anywhere in the state. You know, it's a new building, new technology. You got an IT guy. Budgets come up. If we're gonna do it, my goal would be like by the end of next winter, 2015, April, we start in field. I farm is what I do. You know, That's how I make my living. Allows me to be the veteran service officer. But you got to be thinking about this now, not hit January. Say, well, maybe we should go buy some of this stuff, and it's not in the budget when it's time to put it in the budget. What this stuff would cost, I don't know. Travis Palm, he'd be a good guy to say, well, what would it cost us? And he can call a commissioner and speak with him. The commissioner is more than willing to tell people, here's what we need. I do have a laptop computer. It's 4 or 5 years old. I did take it to the training session last week. To me, that's pretty darn new, you know. But it's not. Right on there it shows he's looking when he comes to the office, is the computer 4 years or less, you know. Because all this stuff takes more and more kilobytes of whatever them kilobytes are. It takes more and more of them, you know.
More RAM.
There you go. Whatever RAMs are, I don't know what RAM pickups are. I had a sheet.
And one of them sheep.
I know what RAM is. But all them RAMs and kilobytes, all I know it takes more and more of it. And I don't really need to know that stuff. All I need to know was when I turn the thing on, this is what happens. You know, I just need to know what I need to know. It's almost like my combine now. That's gotten out of
Well, you can still use a laptop though, can't you? Not like that's, does that be a desktop?
You know, I don't know
The
if
biggest
that.
thing with the age right now, you know, I'm sure you don't need a very high-powered computer to do what you're doing really, but Windows XP is, they
Out.
stopped supporting it,
Yeah.
and I'm sure most machines that old probably are running
Yeah.
XP or something
And
like
then,
that.
and then it's already 4 or 5 years old when we set up a modern office around a laptop that's 4 or 5 years old. And that's not all. You're gonna need a card reader. It's gonna be all electronic signatures. Now that'll require an FBI background check. That won't be any problem. I got my concealed carry that come 2 days ago, so I just passed that big FBI background check, you know. So to get those things, I'll do that. I'll go out and do what I gotta do. And the commissioner will come here and get it set up so I know how to turn it on, use their electronic systems, and be up to date. I'm willing to do all that. I don't have any problem with that. It would have been better if we could have kept it the way it was, but you know, it's not that way. So right now, all I'm saying is,
There's a space for you in the new courthouse.
yes, the other commissioners, they had a special dedicated veteran service area.
Well, they put you in the courtroom now.
Oh, they did? I thought there was a...
No.
And isn't that one of the?
Okay, well, okay, maybe I never asked him, I saw the drawings, and here's the veteran service officer office, and that's what I
Well,
was
I mean,
going
that
on.
courtroom's empty most every day. I don't think that's, you don't.
No, that's not a problem. It
You know,
wouldn't
one of
be-
those jury rooms, the
Yeah.
ones in front of
Conference,
the courtroom.
conference rooms,
Oh,
it's
They
conference rooms.
more or less kind of dedicated one to
So
him for his.
they're used even less.
Right.
Okay. Well, that'd be fun.
And there's network connections in those.
Yeah,
so
that's
I mean,
that's fun.
190.
And
Okay.
usually when they say about those dedicated ones, it's like mine, it's just you can't do them at home. The only place you can do them is up here, like my election stuff, the only place I can do that stuff is up here. If I try to do it at home, it won't let me log in.
You know, I don't know if that's quite true because I have trip training. It's training, responsibility, and preparation for claims. You gotta get that trip. If you ever get a new service officer, he's gonna have to get that. And you're also gonna have to send them to wherever the hell it is where they do the NAFSCO training too. Okay, now the unfair part about this is Griggs County hasn't ever produced one veteran in the whole history of Griggs County. The federal government creates veterans. Okay, so if it would be me, I would say, well, they're the ones who should pay for all this stuff. They're the ones who create the veterans. Griggs County, state of North Dakota's never created a veteran. If you're in the National Guard here, you're kind of like a state employee unless you get federally activated. Then you're a veteran. Otherwise, you can spend 20 years in the National Guard here, retire, and not have veteran status. And that's not uncommon if you were never activated for federal duty. Okay? Federal government creates the veterans. So I could say, well, why does Griggs County got to pay for these things? And I'd say it's unfair, but you know what? That's just the way it is, you know.
Not a huge deal. But your question for us wasn't necessarily that today, was it?
No, it wasn't, no.
I mean,
We need to start thinking about this, and I'm not a guy that could go to Steele County and say, can you guys make a deal, you know? Maybe the commissioners of the counties would need to say, you know what, hey Dennis, maybe we should, are you willing to talk about this, you know? I would think that would be reasonable if you look at kind of some of them statistics. No.
Cause what
If
you
you
would,
just say, Steele County says, no, we're gonna set up our own separate office and that's all that's to it. Well, then you've got a choice. You could say, well, we either now have to set up our own office, which you kinda got, you know, and it require a minimum amount of stuff, you know. Or you have to combine with another county, and then you're gonna have to say, okay, county, Nelson County or Barnes County or whatever, we'll give you $600 a month if you do our veteran services, if they do that. I mean, a person could do something like that, but.
you're asking us if we would be willing to let you do it out of this new building.
Yeah, kinda,
For
yes.
Steel County.
I would be willing to do that, but then I'm also saying, you know, I'm not the Steele County Commission as a group either.
Right.
But,
And from my standpoint, as a single commissioner in Griggs County, we would do whatever we could to facilitate that for you, Dennis. And I don't know, you fellers.
Absolutely.
So I think at this point in time, you probably need to at least visit the issue at this level with the Steele County Commissioners and see what they have in mind. I mean,
and I'll do that.
how many days a week are you in your office?
It's the second and fourth Thursdays, yeah.
Right, so we're talking 4 days a month instead of 2 days a month, probably.
Oh, for the two counties. Yes, yes. Things are gonna change a little there too, you know.
I see.
Cause like right now, I can have a lot of stuff, I can see somebody, just sign it, I know what we're supposed to put down, you know, I'll get it sent in. Well, now you're not gonna be able to do that. You go and visit somebody unless he's got Wi-Fi there where he's gonna have to sign it electronically too, you know. So they're gonna have to come in to see me.
You're gonna have to carry your smartphone.
I don't, as far as I know, I don't know if they got capabilities to do that?
Yeah.
They do, okay. Okay, well, there
That's
you go.
signature pad.
Things like that.
This is a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Okay. Okay, well, you're telling me things I don't know, that's just fine.
See, maybe instead of a computer, you just need a new smartphone.
Well, I don't know. That'd be hard for me to type all those things in on that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it.
iPad.
Even
There you
like,
go.
even a deal like, if, for instance, just not even a suggestion, but here's a thought that hit me. If Griggs County would say, well, look, we have the office here now. If Steele County would buy this stuff, maybe the veterans could stop in there.
And again, before we could make that decision, I think we need to know what that stuff is.
Yeah.
And so will they.
Yeah.
They'll need kind of, you might wanna talk to your commissioner and find out, you know, what are we gonna need and what do we think it's gonna cost?
Yeah, that's kind of what I told Dennis, but, you know, and that is what I told Dennis. Although, it might be where, when I submit the budgets, here it is in both counties' budgets, you know. And then it gets hashed out. And that might be the way when you see real numbers, you know, they say, well, you see, here's the real numbers. And I don't really foresee this being a lot, you know, I would think 5,000 would be tops, I would think, you know. You know, we're not talking like a $40,000 deal. You need a good modern computer with all them RAMs and gigabytes and a lot of capabilities, memory, where it takes more and more room in them, you know. Because every program's more powerful, you know. Okay? And then, what I was getting at before and I interrupted myself, people who took this trip training for their office computers, like in county offices, wouldn't let them computers get on or they'd kick them out. They had to have like separate encryption for that computer.
Yeah, that'd be something the
Yeah.
state would either
No, the
give
VA
to Travis or.
Yeah, I'm sure Travis could do those
Yeah.
things. I know you got a guy here to go to for that. But I was gonna answer the question. I know that won't let you do these things at home, however, these people were in county offices and they couldn't get through that trip training because the computer capability just wouldn't let them do it. It only talked to secure encrypted computers with the VA, not something like auditor's computer. But anyway, if you see these things come up in the budgets, kind of like the goal is starting now in April, maybe by the end of April of next year, office is gonna be here. I'll see what Steele County wants to do. But the law is, they gotta have a veteran service office. Now, you guys are in good shape for that. You got a new courthouse there with capabilities all over the place, you know, so it won't be hard for you to meet it, you know.
No,
It's gonna be hard for them to meet it.
I mean, we could do it here, I'm sure, in this courthouse if you.
Well, I'm sure you could. You can do anything you want if you want to. Sure you can. You can get your IT guy in here and say, here's what the guy needs, set it up. And then he can do that as a, however it's on contract or however you guys do it. I'm sure you can get that done.
So you are going to get some figures together?
Yes, I'll have
for
to
next time?
give figures, and it could be Travis is the guy. I might get a hold of him and say, Travis, what's this stuff gonna cost? Because even that laptop computer I got, that was like $1,400 one at the time. You could get a really nice one like that. The electronics
We
store for
got-
$600, you know.
Money back on that one. We got money back on that one.
Oh,
Yeah, I think from the state.
yeah, it was mostly money that came out of the commissioner's office. Well, anyway, that's kind of just to tell you, so you're not surprised. These things are heading this way. You guys are in good shape. You got a courthouse there. You got conference rooms, you said, in the new court room. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get one of the.
There's a deliberation room off the
Okay.
courtroom.
Yeah, and there's no problem with that, you know.
We could put it in the sheriff's office.
They got all kinds of them.
Yeah, the sheriff's office, so that'd be fun, you know. That's a pretty secure place. Hey, I've had vets where I didn't want to see them unless the sheriff was there. I went and got the sheriff and said, look, I got a guy who said, called me up and said, I feel like killing somebody. I don't care if it's me or somebody else. Well, if a guy tells you something, maybe you better believe him, you know?
Then he said he wanted to come and see you.
Yeah. So the sheriff said, okay, buddy, I'll be right there, you know.
I'm gonna decide on my way to town.
He said, I don't care if it's me or somebody else. So, the sheriff's office is
Nobody's gonna pick the sheriff?
well, these guys are armed, you know. But anyway, it's kind of a joke in a way it's not. Mental health issue aren't.
Serious stuff.
People do things like that, you know.
Very serious stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Just like I hood this last time.
Yeah, I know. The guy yesterday or the day before. Okay, well, look, just you won't be surprised now if you see some of these things hit the budget. Doesn't mean we gotta do that right now. It could be, well, okay, well, who knows? It could be like Steele County's gonna come in and say, you know what? Things have worked really good for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
But you would be in the spot to have it logically, you know, logically. But not only that, there's other little counties around here that have trouble with veteran service. There's a lot to do the job, one hell of a lot. And it's getting more and more technical all the time. And this place here is in a good spot. There's other counties close to here that they're like the veteran service officer they have now away from combining with somebody else.
Oh.
And it could easily be where I could name about 4 counties just right in a row here. That could be like right here, you know. Could easily be that veteran service center.
You get some of those personnel come and see you if they hear about you?
I do, but I always tell them, you know, you have your own veteran service officer, and unless there's some reason you don't want to see that person, and there's reasons for that, like some people just don't get along, you know. And that's fine, but I said, unless there's a reason, I said, I'll help you just start your claim, but then you go back and finish it there. But I do have that, but I always tell them, you should go see your veteran service officer. But anyway, and there's a couple other little counties just very close to touch it. And they're like, their next veteran service officers that are part-time jobs now is going to require full-time skills. And there's one hell of a lot of in-service time in this. You know, there's 3 days this spring, 3 days this fall. You hire a new service officer, it's going to be 1 whole week. They'll get his NASCO training, and that could be in the closest one I've ever seen is Kansas City, Missouri. That's a requirement by law. Okay, that's another thing. Legislature requires that by law. they should pay for that, not the counties. Now, I talked to our representatives about that, but most people don't seem to understand that. Somebody demands something, they should pay for it. I'm a very conservative person, you know. If I demanded that somebody has this, here's the law, I'd say, okay, and here's the money to do it, you know. But I don't want to bring that up. It's you know, it's things like that, you know.
Yeah.
That's just that. Then you got all this electronic training that just, it's going to be, you got to get that through that trip training. And there's one hell of a lot in service for like a 2-day-a-week job for somebody, you know, or a 1-day-a-week job, and they're not finding them people anymore. See, you know, the job has changed. So there's little counties around here that, you know what, this thing here could very easily be the attractive place for like 4 counties here, easily. And it would be good for you guys. It would be bring people in, the courthouse would be used. And the veterans would get the service they need, you know, that's another
Right.
thing. Because then you maybe have one full-time person who's really up on things, you know.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, well, anyway, that's all I wanted to do is tell you, some of this stuff's gonna be coming, don't be alarmed if you see it.
Good.
All right.
You know?
All right, thanks,
Good
Dennis.
job, Bill.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah, goodbye.
Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got a couple things to talk about yet. But they're both under one agenda item.
Are they?
I think so. New courthouse. Okay,
Amended lease.
one of the things that we might have to change in order to get in compliance with this EOC grant is the lease on the courthouse. Because it seems like the DES has a little problem with us leasing a building from ourselves. So, I don't know exactly what the language change would need to be, or if we can't even do it because the BND is the,
Looking out for the bondholders. interest.
well, yeah, the whole project is pledged to the bond. But just to get the ball rolling, is this in the packet?
Yep.
Yeah.
46.
The, you know,
Jamie wrote it.
okay, Jamie wrote a little letter to the building authority asking that we get together, or that we talk about it anyway. He's gonna have to help us with what changes need to be made. And then if we think that we can do something together, we're gonna have to talk to the Bank of North Dakota and see if they're willing to participate. I don't see it as a big problem because the lease payments are what they are. And
It's not going to change the mall.
it's a general obligation of the county. Whether or not the EOC portion of the building is held as security for the bond, I don't think that's a huge issue in my mind anyway, but they'll need to tell us that. In my mind, the security for the lease is the general obligation of the taxpayers of Griggs County. I mean, when I buy municipal bonds,
It's not the actual
I'm not
structure.
buying
is it?
the playground equipment.
Yeah.
You know, I'm buying
The obligation of the bond.
I'm buying the good faith of the county, you know, so it isn't necessarily the collateral that's securing it. With that said,
You need a motion to sign and.
please,
I'd make a motion, we sign and The request for negotiation of lease agreement be sent to the Griggs County Building Authority.
Did we?
You haven't done this yet either,
Okay.
so, yeah.
It's been moved that we send this letter as prepared by Jamie to the building authority to start the process of altering the lease to conform with the requirements of the North Dakota DES. Is there a second to that motion?
Move to second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Just done? Okay, thank you.
One other thing on the new courthouse. I called around to some insurance companies and they didn't know the answer to my question on who's gonna insure this courthouse since it's such a convoluted structure. So they're gonna have to get they were the people, I talked to Citizens and Bank Forward and Nodak in town. And they're gonna get together with the state and find out who's gonna do what. And Cindy, I'm sure knows this already, but the state doesn't write the policies for any of the county-owned property. It's all goes through a local agent. And Insure Forward and Citizens kind of hand it back and forth.
They did, they haven't been.
Okay. Right now it's through Insure Forward. So
For this building.
Mhm.
the whole county.
Oh,
I mean, the county.
Okay,
owns
what
the
it
county.
is the guys you just talked about, the NDIRF, okay, we can't call them. We can on some things, but anytime like there's an accident or anything else, we have to go through a local bank.
But I think the insurance reserve fund is only the liability insurance. The fire and tornado is the property and content insurance. So
And then-
the local agent goes out and writes a policy, and they must just reinsure it or something.
The state's the reinsurer.
Yes.
Okay.
So Insure Forward is gonna find out if the state will reinsure a structure that we don't own. If they won't, then we might have to have some conglomeration.
Mhm.
But the liability in my mind should still be under the North Dakota Insurance Reserve Fund. The content insurance should be under the North Dakota Fire and Tornado or whatever. The EOC should be under there. The only thing that they might carve out of there, and I don't know how insurance companies do that, is everything other than the 4 offices and the EOC. I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause the 4 offices are gonna be paid off straight out.
Right.
So yeah, it is kind of a mess. And State Fire and Tornado does go through the state, where NDIRF goes through an agent. State Fire and Tornado does not.
They write the policies directly? No, they still come through bank or Insure Forward, I think. Right?
I get a separate insurance deal from State Fire and Tornado. And I contacted them when we had a line break down in my office.
Okay.
So it is completely different.
Okay. So have you talked to them?
I had at one point, I haven't lately, so and I can't really remember, but as far as I know, I don't think either of them would cover us, NDRF or the state fire, as long as the building isn't under our name, but I'd have to recheck again.
Some of it is.
Some of that one?
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Just the 4 offices?
In the EOC.
Okay.
They're not gonna divvy up an insurance policy with separate,
A portion of a building.
Yeah,
they,
that's gonna be,
they'd be chasing each other trying to see who had to pay the loss.
it'd be ugly.
So you need me to call them guys?
I can call them again, but I'm not betting on them, because I know the last time I think I checked, they wouldn't cover it. But I'll call
Somebody
him.
better, we gotta get the ball rolling there.
Yeah, because
Rolling.
we're running out of time. We have to be insured, I'm sure, by at least the end of April or end of May.
You know, what a normal, if I rent a house from somebody, I can't buy insurance on the house. If I rent your car, I can't buy insurance on your car, you have to buy the insurance. And the way the lease is written, we're responsible for the insurance.
Yeah.
What, does that mean it's not insurable? I mean, come on. Marina probably knows the answer, but she wouldn't tell us.
Well, like I said, I'll call him again, and
Okay.
the lease agreement states that we are responsible, so we'll see what they say. What? What were you saying?
No,
Something. I didn't know.
if she knew so damn much, we wouldn't be talking about it. Okay. So,
So the other two, so you're done with the amended lease agreement and existing courthouse option study? What was that? You had me put that on.
I was asked to put that on the agenda.
You don't remember by who?
Yeah, I do,
Oh, okay, sorry.
but he ain't here.
Okay, so you're going to,
Well, this was the discussion that I had with this, one of the other commissioners. In everything that I've read or seen, it doesn't appear that we can do anything with the existing courthouse. But each time we say that, it seems like it gets refuted by, well, by Bob Hook. And I would just like, I was gonna propose that he show us some documentation instead of,
Yeah.
that supports that, because we can't find anything. And since Bob's not here and the rest of the commissioners aren't here, I don't know if we can, isn't something that has to be taken care of.
has Jamie done the Attorney General's opinion on that?
I don't know.
On the old courthouse?
Remember, that was gonna get done, he was supposed to do an Attorney General's opinion on it.
I haven't heard of anything.
I haven't seen anything.
Anybody going to remind him or ask him about it? I know I had seen one on courthouses, and it was up to the counties, not, but I don't know when you sign an agreement if it changed that or not, I don't know.
Well, still we have it if the director of the North Dakota Historical Society would allow it, right? Doesn't the century code say that?
Yeah, but you gotta remember, there's an Attorney General's opinion out there. Okay, all you have to do is go under there and look, and I know I saw it there because of the building in Jamestown. So they did an Attorney General's opinion on it, and it stated they,
Have the right to
yeah,
do what they want with it.
yeah.
And when we had the stake up here, the Historical Society before, nothing was all discussed, but I don't think we put anything in the minutes about it, and they told us what, these were from the state, that we could.
From the
have-
Historical Society now?
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
That's not what we're not worried about the Historical Society.
Well, I
When
mean,
you
but they
guys
do it like this.
signed the grant agreement with the EOC, you promised pinky swore up and down, frontwards, backwards.
Well, that's a different
They
thing. I
weren't
mean,
gonna touch it.
that has to do with that.
If we didn't
then.
take the USC grant, we can do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
But they, at the same time, they knew we were getting a USC grant.
No, I was after. I think the ones that came up here, you're talking before we even decided, before you guys even decided, because before it was gonna be this building, when those historical society people came up
Oh,
here.
probably.
Remember? And then the EOC came afterwards, and the new building, so I think,
You see, I don't know that part of that situation. All I know is that at one time they told us it could be removed and destroyed. Taking pictures
Just
of
the
it.
addition.
Huh? No. This is the whole courthouse. They said they had to document everything in here with pictures and measurements and everything else. And then we go through the process and then it could be taken down.
I can't remember who said that though.
There were two of them up here from the State Historical Society.
It's just funny, there's no documentation.
No, I mean, it was just,
Isn't
it
that
was in the
something?
conversation, that's all I can tell
About
you.
that.
Well, here's Jamie, here, you can ask him about that.
Howdy? Kinda like a blister. Have you ever, has anybody ever gotten back to you on the options with the existing courthouse?
On the Attorney General's opinion.
You requested one?
I haven't, I didn't.
No. You know, there's this ongoing discussion what our responsibilities are regarding the existing courthouse going forward with all the letters and agreements that have been signed throughout this process. And we're just wondering what our future liabilities are going to be as far as retaining, maintaining, or dismantling the existing courthouse, or if that is even an option.
As of right now, I don't think it is.
Well,
Based on those letters that we have.
right, so,
Right.
right. And I mean, I feel the same way, Jamie, but I think we need somebody to,
I'll need some cooperation from Sydney and Bob because I'll need to have all the documents that have been signed and everything that's been, all the correspondence in order to get a proper AG's opinion.
well, I'm sure that's not a problem.
This is what we're putting on the ballot. This is what I got from Boyd County for combining the offices.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
One issue with that was brought up by the AG's office when we've been talking this week was, what's the intention, if the office is combined, what's the intention of filling the treasurer's position until April 15th? When Cindy retires.
Treasurer of the auditors.
Treasurers, because when are you planning on retiring?
I was in this summer.
December?
No, this summer.
Oh, this summer, okay.
My term isn't up until May 1st of 2015.
Your term is on May 1st, 2015.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, mine's usually up April 1st and hers is May 1st.
okay. Okay, that's their question, was their question for me, and that's what I was wondering.
I'm planning to stay.
Okay,
Yeah, she's handed in her petition.
For treasurer.
Yeah.
The question is, if we go through this election, or the primary, and the Griggs County citizens, if they say no, then we're done.
We're done.
It's easy. If they say yes, we'd like to see those offices combined, then what do you do next? Because you have two primary winners, or potentially four.
We don't know yet.
Do you have an answer to that question?
I've been working on it with them all week. They've spent 2 or 3 days on it actually. Two individuals. I guess for now, I don't think. I mean, it's a question for down the road. But they were supposed to actually have gotten back to me this morning and they hadn't. To the two options that we've talked about are taking the top 2 or 4, or taking the top 2 people in each of those respective offices and running them off against each other.
Yeah.
Or, which probably, the second option is probably what will likely happen is that there will be a special election for that specific position, but it won't have to be until the November election. So those people who want to run for the combined out of the treasurer's office will have to go petition again and have a name put on the ballot in a special election. I think based on my conversation with both John Fox and Leon Schneider at the AG's office, I think that's probably what the option will end up being.
So the primary vote won't mean anything at that point?
Right, and that's what we're having a problem with. So, this is an issue that hasn't come up before, and there's no guidance anywhere. So we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants right now.
That doesn't seem to be the right answer.
It doesn't to me either, but the first option doesn't seem like the right answer either, because those people petitioned and the people voted for them to be in those respective offices too.
Yeah, so it's hard.
So
You got your election that opened January, but your resolution didn't go through February, so your election actually started, if someone would have taken a
January
petition
1st.
January 1st, guess what? Your resolution would have been questioned anyway, because if 2 people would have taken that petition out, your resolution still would have been in question. Are you following? Okay.
And that's a situation that we've gotten into now, is that since we're having the election for separate offices, it doesn't exactly make sense to run the top 2 in each of those offices off, because that's not what they bargained for in the petition either. And that's not what the individuals voted for either. They voted for either a treasurer or an auditor. They didn't vote for both of them.
However, if they vote yes on the measure, they get it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
It would just be if the candidates
It would
were
be-
willing to serve in that capacity.
Right.
If they weren't, it wouldn't be too late for them to say no.
Right.
So, I still think that's a better option in my mind.
We're still working on it. Like I said, it's
Struggling.
they had a lot of problems with it. They spent 3 days this week on it. So
Tell them to be careful when they write laws, that they can administer them. Okay? Well, do you want to check on that courthouse thing for us?
Yep.
I don't.
yeah, I will.
I mean, I don't know what we want to do because we don't have any money to do either one. But I imagine we're going to be stuck going this one direction or the other.
Cindy, do you want to just put that down this week? I'll be around Tuesday if you can get correspondence that can accompany that
I
letter.
don't have any correspondence on the DES stuff. That was all sent to Bob.
Well, there was some stuff that you were CC'd on, and the commission was CC'd on that one specific letter stating that, I know, it was in my email that you and the commission were CC'd on.
I could try and look.
But you have all the course.
I have that, but I don't know if there's more. I just want to make sure I have everything. I have that stuff, right? But if you could check in your files and see if you have any more correspondence, and let me say with Bob last
How far
month.
back are we going? Just 2011?
I would say anything that has to do with this grant, and as far as maintaining the courthouse with a building of a new courthouse.
Then it'll be 2011.
We need somebody to give us some direction on that deal.
I know there was an AG's opinion, Jamie, on the Jamestown building when it came to historical or whatever. I think there's an AG opinion out there.
Yeah, but that building's still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being used for something else.
It's actually empty.
Is it? It was being used for something else, wasn't it?
But there was
Since 07 when I got there, it was empty.
For many years, it's been empty. Then
they had a lot of issues with that at one time.
They had to fill a
So
basement.
that's
with
why I'm
sand.
saying there's an AG's opinion there, because there were a lot of issues. Because I think they got money from historical or whatever too. There were a lot of issues with that building.
And they got money from the Historical Society in order to fix the building up.
And a lot of times then you have, yeah.
Did I forget anything else?
Well, I was wondering about that option deal. What was that? The options were for what? That was
That
what
was
to
the
do with the
options.
old building?
Yep.
Okay. Then last thing is that sheriff's still. That's the only thing I've got left.
Okay, I got a grant award here for a new radar unit. That was used to buy on the in-car camera and other radar units. Oh, this is a grant award for a new radar unit. The unit costs $2,002.50.
So is there anything wrong with the old ones?
I don't know. The grant, this award was $1,500 and the local match was $503. And that will be coming out of Bob's budget. He just needs us to approve the reimbursement request from the DOT.
And once again, where's the rest of the grant money come from until the meantime, the 1,500?
Yeah, you're going through the, well, he hasn't presented the bill, but yeah, that's the same.
We're still in the same boat again as we were with
Well,
the
depends
radio.
Well, it'll come out of his budget and go back in.
The whole thing.
But it doesn't go back in his budget, though. It just goes to the general fund.
That's fine. Well, he's got him in and out for this kind of stuff, doesn't he? No?
No.
Okay.
Well, and
You-
the BES one he does.
Got there one.
If you looked, this thing here, this report you get for expenses, which is toward the back. But what did he say? He said he's paying this out of, I thought it was a non-budgeted item.
I thought it said it.
He was gonna pay it out of, I thought I saw something else. He said he was gonna pay it out of,
24/7 fees and equipment.
yeah, fees and equipment out of where though? Which one? Cause see, he's got a permit and fees budget, but he didn't budget any money in there. And I don't know which budget he's paying out of. He doesn't really state which budget he's gonna pay it out of.
It says 24-/7, whatever that.
It's a
Where is that?
24/7 program for alcohol testing. That's administered by the sheriff's department.
Yeah, and see, that's not our, where did you get that number at?
It's right on this front page, 24/7 fees and equipment.
Right here.
You got it?
Yep.
Oh, that's not what I meant. Right, but that means 24/7, 24 hours a day. Isn't that what it means? 24/7?
What's 24/7 fees?
24/7 is the alcohol testing program for
Which,
DUIs.
that's state, not our code. Isn't that what you're saying too?
No, the county charges $1 for it, which costs them like 14 cents or something to do it. So it's income into the county. They've got guys that pay $1 in the morning and pay $1 in the evening to take a breath test as required by the court, and that's for the administration of it. The sheriff's department gets the money.
Okay, where does that go into? That
Is
goes
that teletype
into.
and talk like?
No.
It's a regional correction.
Is it regional?
I think so.
Okay. Because I don't think he's set up any
2980.
reimbursed. Did he? Maybe he did?
2980 regional code.
Yeah, 2980 is the account number.
30.
Under here, these are expenses. We have equipment, training and equipment, transportation equipment, major equipment. It's page 14 at the towards the back.
Is there radio and radar equipment?
But I'm gonna go back to revenue. And see if there was anything budgeted under revenue. Because I don't remember that unless he's talking about his permanent fees budget. He should have had something budgeted for intoxilizer.
Alcohol monitoring,
There, where is it?
2980, 4211, 903. The last one in 2980.
Where am I? Oh, I'm gonna go with it. Get further forward.
You told me it was on page 14, I went to page 14.
I went to it first. Okay, there you go. Alcohol monitoring. Okay, if that's what he's gonna pay it out of, then he's got enough in there, right? No? He doesn't, it's only $1,000.
Yeah, he's only gonna pay, well, he doesn't have enough to pay the whole thing.
He'd have to pay the whole bill, which is in 2003, and get reimbursed.
And that is not an in and out account.
I don't think so. I'm in revenue now, what do I know? Back with it. Did
You
he
just gotta,
budget revenue?
I mean, that account is for administrative expenses incurred by the county on behalf of the regional corrections. Why would we spend it on equipment?
If it's equipment he needs.
So he's got a car without a radar in it? Is that it? I can't believe that.
He didn't say what the radar equipment is for, does he? In regional revenue, I don't show any money. One's got a fingerprint money coming in, 1105, but otherwise I don't show anything else. Did you want to call him? He said you could call him.
Table it too. It's got till June 30th to submit vouchers.
I suppose the bill's gotta be paid for. He's already bought it.
He didn't submit a bill though. He's showing a bill here, but he didn't really submit anything to get paid yet.
He's got to July 15th to submit his vouchers. So.
Do you want to call him or?
I think he can explain to us why he's doing what he's doing. He can come back to the next meeting, can he?
Okay. Okay, is that everything? Where's the deal?
answer from the AG on our little election conundrum, so we don't need to deal with that any longer.
Do you think they'll change, they wanted a separate office, or do you think they'll change this by Monday?
I hope to hear back from them yet today or Monday morning.
Are you guys gonna be willing for an extra meeting on Monday? You guys gonna be around? In case there has to be one?
Well, we can do one in the afternoon if we need to, can't we?
That's what I'm asking on Monday, but it's gotta be before 4. After 4, it doesn't matter. That's all there is to it.
Well, I mean, it really doesn't make any difference because right now we have to run the
Oh,
separate
yeah,
offices.
that's right. The primary is.
The primary, it's no
The
big
primary
deal.
is-
This is for later on.
It's only
It's
November.
kind of dry for now. It's for the later election.
That's what I'm asking, if it's cut and dried. So we are treasurer,
Yeah,
auditor's
it's
office.
treasurer off. It has to
And-
be on as
It
treasurer.
has to.
The combined,
The petition suspended the joining the two offices, so that's
That's done,
okay,
water under the bridge.
yeah.
okay.
The only issue we have is our June issue, I guess, but I still expect to hear back from them.
Anything else?
Unbelievable.
I'm moving to get
Motion's been made to adjourn, is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Now we'll proceed to vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
3:28,
3:28 PM.
next meeting 17th?
Next meeting on the 18th, right?
Mm-mm. It's Good
17th.
Friday.
Good Friday's not a holiday,
Okay.
except for you. So we'll have it on the 17th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No comment.
Separate church and state.
Yes. Should be, yeah. It should be. So I send
I
this
suppose
letter
the
to
holiday for you
building
too, Sean.
What?
Good Friday.
Yeah.
I took vacation, yeah.
Yeah,
I took the
yeah.
whole week off.
Yeah, a lot of times if you do that, then it doesn't count. It counts as a vacation day and not a
I'm probably gonna lose some.
holiday.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Did
Oh, I heard that.